and they are not allowing government institutions to get the cocoa for them to also get it. So what is happening is that the processing companies are now taking it upon themselves to put premium on the beans so that the farmers can give it to them at the gate. Also, the demand and supply pool or what we are actually seeing happening.
All right. So the price of a bag of cocoa has gone up by 63%, but the government has not been able to export more beans, and so it makes you wonder if the decision to increase the price was just a political move. Is there any political capital lost as a result of this?
Well, so I would say that this was actually a political policy that actually went wrong, because we've been looking at the data and we realized that getting to election years, what government does is that they increase the price per bag of cocoa by a certain magnitude. And per the studies we've done, usually they do that to be able to win votes, because you find the cocoa farmers in the rural areas, one farmer, for instance, has a family size of 6 or 5, and so you see that effect. But if you look at the data in 2016-2015, so what they do is that they decide not to increase the price per bag over a period, and getting closer to the election year, a year before the election year, they do a 21% increment, and the election year itself, they do a 60% increment. And so in this year, for instance, last year, or from 2017 to now, we saw that for 2 years, cocoa prices per bag did not go up. The increment or the change was 0. The first time we saw that the price went up was before or during the 2020 election year, where prices were increased by some 20%. And this time around, government is hoping to has actually increased the price by 63.8%, hoping to cash in or gain some political capital there.
Okay.
But it's not really working, because they were not able to get the needed purchasing capital funds to be able to get that money to start buying the cocoa beans ahead of time. And so as a result of the restructuring that we are doing on both domestic and external fronts, investors were not so certain, and that caused a delay in us getting the syndicated loan. And so per the analysis, they may not probably be able to capitalize on that agenda, because that's what they do. They increase the price during election year by that huge magnitude, hoping to cash in on that.
All right. Thanks so much. Kofi J there. He is Senior Data Analyst here at the Multimedia Group. And that's it for the marketplace. Thanks for watching, everyone. More news on our website, if you're able to log on, myjoyonline.com/business. See you same time tomorrow.
On the 10th of November last year, His Royal Majesty the King Osei Tutu II, Tumfo, launched the Hill Komfanoche project. It's a drive to raise funds for the rehabilitation or renovation of the almost 70-year-old Komfanoche Teaching Hospital, which was named after the great priest of the Ashanti Kingdom, Komfanoche. Incidentally, when Komfanoche first put the sword that was supposed to be a unifying factor of all the Ashanti states on the ground, it was Otumfuo Osei Tutu I who was the king of Ashanti then. And so, as part of the 25th anniversary celebration, when the king decided that the time had come for him to lead that drive, for people from far and near to contribute to the renovation of the almost 70-year facility, which has never seen any renovation since it was built in 1955. It was welcoming and refreshing, and it's marked of leadership that every young man or woman would aspire to. Now, like I said, every day, on the average, we receive about 1,000 patients who are coming from at least 12 out of the 16 regions in Ghana. So Komfo serves as a referral facility for 12 out of 16 regions in Ghana. Ordinarily, retooling of a hospital like Komfo would be seen as a responsibility of government. It is indeed true, but in many developed democracies, like the United States, Canada, UK, Germany, I'm sure many of us who have lived there at one point or another in our lives are aware that these things are done. Private individuals, philanthropists, and so on give, non-governmental organizations give towards the renovation, the building of new hospitals, and so on and so forth. And so the king, being a golfer himself, the golfers decided that it was one of the ways by which they could contribute to the king's vision. And so today what has happened is that the golfers are launching a competition of a sort that would see to them contributing generously to the king's drive. I have absolutely no doubt for this that the golfers have done, their names will be written in gold. Posterity will judge them favorably. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
A fifth of the babies who come in will end up dying.
This is impactful journalism, the storytelling that stretches your imagination and shines a light on the underreported issues.
Normally, if you talk, that doesn't change people unless they see it.
This is impactful journalism. It is fearless, independent journalism that reshapes thoughts and crushes stereotypes.
But I had no more strength in me again.
The person must be made to know that what you have done, yes, it would have deserved murder.
This is impactful journalism. It provides context and meaning to the different perspectives.
Children are born with sin, and therefore if you don't baptize them and they die as children, then they will go to hell. This is funny.
This is impactful journalism. It provides context and meaning to the different perspectives. This is JoyNews Hotline Documentaries, compelling stories changing the status quo.
I am in Athalia Kwanzaa in Takrade, and this is JoyNews. Independent, fearless, credible.
If it matters to you, it matters to us. JoyNews. Independent, fearless, credible.
Hello beautiful people, welcome once again to Home Tips with Mira. The program is all about home tips, DIYs and home remedies. So today we are looking at a home remedy and a DIY, and we are going to look at the usage of a certain kind of herb. In fact, it is a spice that we use in our daily cooking, and it is also the name of my friend. I am talking about rosemary. I believe most of us know rosemary. Did you know that rosemary can promote your hair growth and boost the texture of it and make it look so nice and appealing? Yes, today we are going to look at how to use rosemary to boost our hair. But before we do that, we'll also look at the benefits of using rosemary. Rosemary as a spice can be used in its fresh form or its dried form, depending on what you want. So in dishes where you want the aroma to be outstanding and you want to really enjoy the taste of the rosemary, you don't want it to be lost, you can use the fresh one. So you just, dice it and use it to flavor your food. And if you are doing a longer cooking, let's say you are doing your stew, it is advisable that you use the dried rosemary so that you can also enjoy the taste. For longer cooking, you use the dried rosemary. For shorter cooking, you use the fresh rosemary. And rosemary as a spice can also be joined together with other spices to, you blend everything together and then you keep it on your shelf as your spice. Use it to season your meat, use it to season your fish, and any other form of usage that you have for it. rosemary, the dried form, or the fresh form can also be used as a tea. So you steep it in hot water, and I believe you have seen the episode of herbal tea. You steep it in hot water, you wait for about 10 minutes, and then you remove the rosemary from it, and then you take your tea, which can be sweetened with honey. Please avoid the intake of white sugar. And there's also rosemary essential oil. The oil can also be used in different ways. In fact, it can be used as an aromatherapy, where you boil water, you put it in a hot pan, and then you put about 3 or 4 drops of rosemary into the pan containing the hot water. Use a towel to cover your head, and then you inhale. It helps to relieve your stress, and then it's a pain reliever. So if you have a lot of things on your mind, maybe you've gone to work, you have come home, you are stressed out and all that, just do some aromatherapy with rosemary essential oil and then go to bed, and you see the wonders that rosemary can do for you. We are looking at using rosemary for your hair growth. And how can you do it? What you have to do is just get a handful of rosemary. You can use the fresh one or the dried one and boil it in water. And whilst boiling, you have to add cloves to it. Cloves also does wonders for the hair. I'm going to boil the rosemary this quantity, and I also have the cloves this quantity, but I'm going to divide these cloves into. And now I will add water. We don't want to add too much water, just enough. Cover it and boil it between 5 to 10 minutes. And anytime you are boiling any kind of herbal medicine, it is advisable that after it has been on fire for the stipulated period, when you bring it down, keep the lid on till it cools down completely. Then you sieve it into a nice bowl, and then you add coconut oil to it, because the coconut oil will act as a diffuser oil. When you apply it on your hair, it's going to help so that you don't react too much to the rosemary or the cloves. That is if you are sensitive or you are allergic to it. I'm going to transfer it into a bigger container. Within like a week, you should have finished using it. So you keep this one in your fridge, and anytime you want to put some in your hair, you transfer it into this small container. Mix together in a spray can, just spray it in your hair, and massage it into the scalp of your head, and then do it 2 to 3 times within a week. In fact, if you are not comfortable, you can do it and then an hour you do your shampooing, or you can just spray your hair and leave it in. That is what I use for my hair, and it's amazing how my hair has grown. The mixture of rosemary, cloves, and coconut oil, in fact, is full of antioxidants, and it is also anti-inflammatory. So when you use it and you massage it deep into your scalp, it helps to get rid of dandruff. So if you have a problem with dandruff, this is what you can use. And if you also have a problem with alopecia, your hair is not growing, it's falling off, or you have a child that you have braided the hair and the frontal is removed, you can also apply this mixture on the child's hair every 2 to 3 days. And make sure that whilst doing it, you will see how the person is reacting. In fact, you can do a test, on your hand to see how your body reacts to this whole mixture before you apply it on your hair. And just be careful that you don't use too much rosemary or too much cloves. Let's say if you use a handful of rosemary, you can use a quarter of cloves to it. Rosemary has a lot of benefits for the human body. It supports your immunity, it supports your digestive system, and it helps to relieve bloating and gas and indigestion. So if you have, you know that you have indigestion and it's causing some rumblings in your tummy, just get a teaspoonful of rosemary and steep it in water and drink in the evening. It will relieve you of your indigestion. And it is also full of antioxidants. It is anti-inflammatory. So I would encourage you to use it on a regular basis. Use it as a spice in your cooking. Use it to flavor your meat. Use it to season your fish. You can break it and then use it in different ways. But from time to time, it is something that I want to encourage you that keep on using rosemary in your daily diet. Thank you so much for sticking and staying with Home Tips with Mira. From time to time, we'll bring you more interesting and exciting episodes. So keep on using rosemary for your hair, for maximum hair growth.
If it matters to you, people before power. We're about the people, not the powerful.
Succeeding in business requires certain fundamentals and know-hows at every turn. In light of this, Joy Business is going a notch higher to bring you closer to top business leaders all over the world, right on your social media platforms with Joy Business Social. It's an insightful and interactive live session on your mobile devices. Joy Business Social comes your way this and every Thursday at 6 p.m. exclusively live on the Joy Business and Joy 99.7 FM Facebook pages. Follow our live updates and engage with us on Twitter via the hashtag Joy Business Social. You can also engage with us on LinkedIn at Joy Business Ghana. All your questions relating to business and the guest of the day will be tackled live and direct. Joy Business, empowering, prospering together.
What does it take to become a champion? On today's The 77%, we'll travel across the African continent to discover the secrets of people who've excelled in sports. My name is Liz Cho, and I'm super excited about today's program. If we're quite honest, many of us have already ditched most of our New Year's resolutions. Remember how you wanted 2024 to be the year where you worked out more and only ate healthy foods? Well, today we'll look at what makes a champion, and I can tell you one thing. People who win medals in sports don't give up on their goals. Now, we asked you what it takes to reach the absolute summit of your sport. Is it talent, grit, or the spirit? Here's what you told us. Kennedy Sitati says there's no definite answer to your question. Of course, you have to be talented, have endurance, and on top of everything, you need a very strong fighting spirit if you want to compete at the highest level. Solomon Kunbate says it's a gift from God. And then we have Gilbert Ahiabu, who says, I will suggest it is support. When you get the support, the rest will be an additional priority for you and for your supporters. Thank you very much for those messages. We'll stay with support and look at why champions need a good mentor.
It takes more than just talent to make a champion. We need someone to recognize our gift, polish the rough diamond within, and then promote us like a superfan. In other words, we need a mentor, experienced teachers, coaches, or trainers to guide us through thick and thin. At times, we need someone to kick our butt in training. Sometimes we need a shoulder to cry on, or a hand to pick us up. Competitive sport is full of challenges, and not just when the match starts or the race begins. So, we always need a mentor in our corner who fights for us no matter what. In the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, some young athletes come from unimaginably difficult backgrounds where war and hardship have left deep scars. Coach Kibo Mango runs a boxing school for youngsters to leave their troubles outside the ring. Kibo Mango says every jab and every hook is aimed at banishing the mentality of rebel soldiers. Through fancy footwork and powerful punches, the young men learn to take back control of their destiny. Far from the rings of Goma, Tembisa Ngamlana wrestles boxing from the domain of men as she teaches young South African girls self-defense. Growing up in Cape Town's informal settlements is tough, and South Africa has horrifyingly high cases of gender-based violence. But sadly, not all sports officials have their athletes' best interests at heart. In Kenya, sports corruption affects people like Webster Lukose. He was almost an Olympian weightlifter.
I put all the effort I could, but unfortunately, for example, for my federation, which was supposed to be like my link to the scholarship and to the Olympics, really misappropriated the funds that were supposed to help me.
Former sports administrators were jailed or fined for embezzling funds, but their actions killed Webster's dream. That's not the only obstacle. Visa problems also stop Africans competing internationally. For Kenya's pioneering kayaking king, Sami Muturi, even his passion, personal funds and stacks of paperwork have not always been enough to get him the visa to compete in European kayaking championships.
We have to get lots of documents. These are like passports, pictures, invitation letters, our bank statements, criminal record statements and all that stuff. I don't know why they do ask for all those documents.
It's tough times like these where you need a mentor or even a role model to help you through the bureaucratic, societal and mental hurdles of international competition.
Okay, get a mentor. Check. What else? In Tanzania, we have a saying that goes, mwili haujengwi kwa matofali. Translation, a body is not built by bricks. And yes, you guessed it, we'll now look at nutrition. I know that champions are always very picky about what they eat, weighing meals, taking tons of supplements, a protein shake here and there. So what does a champion's body need to perform at the highest level? My colleague Rachel Ndwati found some surprising answers at the DW in-house gym.
Now we're getting real about food, but not just any kind of food, but the one that is consumed by athletes and people who are hitting the gym. Whether you're cycling or sweating out in the field or even pumping a road, what you eat can make or break you. And that's why I reach out to my colleague George Okachi, who tells me more on the same. Hi George, thanks for joining us today. And so you can start by giving us a scoop on the supplements theory.
Yeah, it's always a controversial topic. I never use any supplement, not because of being among the people who fear the effects of supplements. But the key thing is that studies have been done, numerous studies have been done to prove the efficacy of the supplements. They've been proven that they do work after people use them for a period of time. Yeah, so if you are someone who is a big fan of that, and if it can work with your body, why not?
Okay, and what's the biggest myth in terms of nutrition-wise and the gym?
That there is some food that you will eat and do nothing and expect to have, that trim body.
Okay, and in terms of hydration, do you normally advise for people to guzzle up water all the time, or are you the kind of person who likes to just take it a step at a time?
I wouldn't expect you to guzzle 3 liters of water. I'd expect a change within your body. Have the body to mind connection. Like this amount of water, when I take it, I feel good.
Last question. Let's talk about post-workout munchies. When you go to the gym, what's your recovery afterwards? Do you eat chicken or broccoli, or do you go for anything that you want that's on the table?
Your gains in the gym can be either be made better or broken down in the kitchen. Nutrition plays that critical and central role to define what gain you may have. It depends with your goal. Like for me, my goal would be like maybe sometimes I've had moments when I want to trim my body. Then I would make sure that my post-workout would be like taking a lot of protein, and that is the only time I'm eating.
Thank you so much, George.
Thank you, George and Rachel. And I'm sure a cheat meal here and there is totally okay, right? So what we put in our bodies is immensely important. But once you got the nutrition part down, it's time to do some actual work. Put in the hours, perfect your skills. What does it take to build your physical and mental muscle? Rachel has some answers.
You know, in the sports world, everybody is trying to be physically fit. Everywhere you look, there's someone trying to exercise, and they're basically trying to look like this.
The fitness industry is booming and expected to grow by almost 10% in the coming years. And get this, there are 639 muscles in our bodies. Now that's a lot of muscles to train. In Uganda, Grandson is a bodybuilder. He started working out in the gym to improve his mental health.
After losing my beloved grandma, that's why I started gym, because it was a way of relieving me from depression and all that stuff.
He wanted to fulfill his dream of becoming a model and getting commercial projects. Now, he walks topless in Uganda as a form of exhibition and embracing his African roots. Many people would need a knife to split a melon into two, but get this, Grandson uses only his hand.
I feel better now, and I feel myself. And when I look at myself in the mirror, I be like, yo, I'm an art. So I be like, yeah, I can share this amazing art to the people outside, that I can inspire them also to be themselves and do something better for them.
But hey, did you know that our bodies aren't the only thing that need exercise? Our brains do too, and just like muscles, they need regular workouts to stay healthy and fit.
This is what pool billiard champions are doing in a different part of Uganda. It's all about calculating angles, planning shots, and figuring out how to win in the pool game through focus, strategy, and a little bit of finesse.
One has got to be patient and resilient, even when losing. You don't have to lose hope, you've got to keep training.
Although many might not consider brain sports as traditional sports, Kenya's Elizabeth Cassidy is changing the narrative. The young upcoming chess master is one of the best in the country and has won several championships. Elizabeth says there are a lot of things to consider becoming a chess master.
Before a major tournament, I always sleep early and I'm always nervous, so my dad always motivates me.
Elizabeth plays with her father to perfect strategies and tactics.
It has become very difficult to hire a coach. Plus now she is more advanced than me. So me training her is a challenge.
Whether you're hitting the gym or making strategic moves, exercising with your brain and mind is helpful for a champion because this makes you stay physically and mentally fit.
Staying mentally fit, having a sharp mind, that's exactly what you need if you want to excel in esports. All right. I know there were times when you would only get sneers if you told people that playing video games competitively for hours is considered an actual sport. But we set out to prove once and for all that African mindsets are changing.
African gamers are uniting, showcasing their skills and embracing the thrill of competition. Whether it's mastering strategy in the League of Legends or showing off lightning-fast reflexes in Call of Duty, gaming is blowing up on the continent. In sub-Saharan Africa alone, there are some 186 million gamers, and that number is rising according to Africa Games Industry Report. And get this, you can make some serious cash from it too. In South Africa, players have raked in millions of dollars by winning tournaments in recent years. In Ivory Coast, there's this incredible culture brewing.
Competitive video gaming is starting to become a thing here. The mindset has to change because video gaming is now an international industry. The important thing about esport is that it has the capacity to attract huge audiences who come and watch. A bit like other sports. Today, some games can attract millions of people who connect online just to be able to watch others play.
And in Kenya, Sylvia G, aka Queen Arrow, is absolutely killing it in this male-dominated scene.
When I started out gaming, a lot of people are indifferent, my parents were indifferent and just even skeptical, like, why are you wasting time gaming? You're better off focusing on your studies. But I know that for a fact that in the West and in Asian countries, it's possible to make a living out of something that you can enjoy.
Now she's making a fortune out of her hobby, traveling around the world and promoting her brand. And she hopes more female gamers will fly Kenya's flag high someday.
I'd say the best revenge is to be success. I'm just hungry to succeed, and I'm also hungry to, just overcome these obstacles that have been in my way since I started my career. That is to say, my gender, my, I'd say even my race and where I come from at some point. I'm just determined to overcome those and make sure that I succeed and prove those who are doubting me wrong.
All right, my takeaway so far is that whether it's esports, boxing, or weightlifting, what you need to be really good is to have a very clear goal in mind. But that goal doesn't always have to be winning a medal. In Togo, my colleague Samson Adeleke found out that you can get a workout and at the same time be a champion for the environment.
Eco-jogging, move and save our planet. It is 7 a.m. here in Afayan, Republic of Togo, and the women are about to begin their jogging. But wait a minute, let me tell you, it is more than exercise. It is called eco-jogging. Let's begin, man. Are you ready for this? It is a combination of fitness and clean environment. How does it work? Eco-jogging, you clean your environment while jogging. How is that possible?
It is possible to do it. And when we began, we explained to the eco-joggers that you run, you walk, and you pick the trash you see on the way. So let me do it like this. You run and you pick it like this. And you put it on the back. Simple like this. Wow.
How many kilograms of waste are you expecting to gather today?
Today we are expecting to get
The race to Jubilee House is on. Ghana is at a crossroads.
It's time again for the people to choose, and the world is watching.
In a nation where every vote counts, every voice matters, there's one name you can trust for your election coverage.
JoyNews, your election headquarters.
A team of seasoned journalists will bring you up-to-the-minute updates, unbiased analysis, and the stories behind the headlines.
Your election headquarters brings you Joy News 2024 election on the Joy FM Super Morning Show, the AM show on the Joy News channel, and all our social media platforms.
The election headquarters for an informed electorate. Joy News, independent, fearless, credible.
Hello, my name is Kenneth Jesse, and this is Election Brief. Within the next 30 minutes, we have the latest update from the political scene. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, all social media handles, and around the world on myjoyonline.com. Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity, and Chartered Institute of Management Accountant and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants. Election Headquarters for an informed electorate. Please stay tuned. And this is where we begin, as the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jean Mensah, has described the upcoming December 7 polls as the most crucial the country has ever had. Mamiesi Nyamiche Thompson was at the briefing and joins me in the studio with the latest. Esi, welcome back. I want to find out from you, the Electoral Commission yesterday visited the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council, and today they are visiting the Ghana Police Service. Do we know why these meetings are taking place?
Indeed, the two entities are saying that the election, especially this one, is a very crucial one, especially because the major political parties, the NDC and the NPP, present candidates, one being a vice president, the other a former president, who brings to the table very unique situation for the Electoral Commission as well as the police. Now, the IGP with a team of his men were there and to discuss the electoral calendar as well as other issues bordering on security towards the 2024, the December elections. And so they were there this morning. When we got there, they had done a welcome briefing where the IGP had also instructed that they are ever ready to, go ahead with the elections. They've been preparing since before. Earlier on, the police administration had always been, waiting for the election year to prepare towards that election. But this has been a process. And so they've set up the National Police Election Security Secretariat, where they're meeting all stakeholders, including the Electoral Commission, on how they can compare notes and ensure that everything goes as planned.
Now that we know why this meeting took place, what has the Electoral Commission been saying?
The Electoral Commission, John Mensah, also admits or acknowledges the crucial nature of the election this year and are turning no stone. They ensure going to work together with the police to ensure that the processes run smoothly.
And did the police say anything on election security?
Indeed, they did. They are collaborating with the other security agencies as well. We have the military, the fire service, and the rest who will be joining the police to ensure a free and fair election. They're also saying that they're meeting with other stakeholders as well to ensure that every security protocol they put in place for this election goes as planned.
We also understand that they touched on the election violence that happened during 2020.
Indeed. So the briefing after the closed door meeting was that the closed case commissioner, the police service, had met with the families, signaling that they hadn't abandoned the cases. There are still ongoing investigations with the families to ensure that the cases are brought to book, or those culprits involved in those incidents are brought to book. And so the police hasn't abandoned those cases. They're still investigating, and I've been briefing the families on the stage of investigations they've reached so far.
Mamiesi Nyamiche Thompson, thank you very much. Well, let's bring you more stories this afternoon, because a founding member of the governing New Patriotic Party, Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, is expressing doubts about Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's support within the party after being elected as its flag bearer. Speaking to Benjamin Akakpo on the AM show, Dr. Tamaklo claims Dr. Bawumia was not the preferred candidate among party members. According to Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, Dr. Bawumia's election victory was largely due to the financial support he received from President Akufo-Addo.
I know Bawumia well. You follow me? Myself and later Aliu Mahama handled Bawumia in the second running of the second term, attempt of Akufo-Addo. Akufo-Addo got me involved directly. He called me and talked to me about Bawumia. Bawumia is there. He's not dead. Now, Bawumia is now in a tight corner. Tight corner because he is not number one himself.
Right.
Secondly, he has been put in a position that is not the wish of the majority of the party members. I mean, these are clear signs. But for the backing of Akufo-Addo with money, Bawumia couldn't have won that position.
But you don't know that for a fact. Can you say that?
I know that for a fact. Look, I've been in politics for years.
Where's your evidence?
You see, this sort of what's your evidence is what I dislike most.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't make these claims.
You can't make this claim. Politics, you have to think ahead. You follow me?
Right.
Now, Bawumia, I can tell. I know he's a nice gentleman. But I would say he's in the wrong terrain.
Do you think he can beat John Mahama and Nana Jane?
Look, when his own party, that is my party, which I'm supposed to have been suspended from, has internal issues now. And they have serious internal issues, I know. For instance, he has no other option than to look at the Ashanti region.
Right.
No other option. I'm telling you this. But even that, will he be in position to decide that this is the person I want to go with? That's point number one. Point number two, the Ashanti region now is going to be divided into various sections. Alan Chiramonte is going to have half of it. I'm coming. MPP is going to hold half of it. And even within the MPP, there are divisions there. And of course, the NDC has a slice there as well.
Right.
So you ask yourself, how strong shall we be? A region that has been our stronghold, are we going to be strong there? And also think about the mess we've created during these 8 years. People are no fools. People are no fools at all. They are going to. People are going to vote.
The MPP is going to lose the 2024 elections.
Look, any other results that will come will be what we term the stolen verdict, and it will bring problems to this country. You have no idea. Once again, I'm predicting.
In other stories this afternoon, flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Mahama, has detailed how his next government, if successful, intends to reduce the size of government. The plan will include the measure of some ministries performing similar functions. Mr. Mahama has indicated a commitment to reduce ministerial appointments to a total of 60 to reduce government's expenditure. Nana Yaojima has more in the following report.
The former president, seeking a comeback to power, had about 88 ministers at the time of the NDC's exit. The number has increased to over 120 ministers under the present NPP administration. Though the numbers have been criticized by the public, little efforts have been made to reduce the number. The NDC flag bearer, who is promising a lean government, has detailed how some ministries will be merged to cut expenditure.
We have announced this already. We're going to merge the transport ministry. We're going to bring aviation, railways, and all of them back into transport. When we're in government, we had just one transport ministry. It is this government that came and disaggregated it. When we're in office, we had one communications ministry. That was information and communications. And so we're going to merge them again. We had local government that included sanitation. And so we'll send sanitation back. We want to reduce the number of ministries. And some of the unnecessary ministries, we'll just take them. Business development, what, we'll just cut them out so that we can bring the ministries down, so that we can reduce the number of ministers, like I've said, 60, so that we cut down the expenditure on government, and then we can invest that money in other places.
In ensuring the ministries become more effective, some of them will be entrusted additional roles. According to John Mahama, the Ministry of Agriculture will be added the role of agribusiness.
And so one of the new crop of young business people we're going to create are what I call agripreneurs, agribusiness people. We'll give them small machines so that they can process tomatoes, soya bean, they can mill rice and package it for the market. They can produce fruit juices for our shops so that we can produce more of the things we consume and cut down on the things that we import. And so the Ministry of Agriculture is going to be called the Ministry of Food and Agribusiness, because we want agribusiness to come out as a new area that we're going to invest in so that they can take the crops, uptake the crop from the farmers and be able to produce it into something else.
Meanwhile, the plan to cut waste to improve the economy remains important. Mr. Mahama details a plan.
I don't know how much it costs, but I think what you want to address is that we must cut waste, because there's a lot of waste in the system. If we cut down waste, we would have more money to invest in other productive sectors of the economy. And so I would say that we should look at where we can cut waste so that we can put it in our schools, in our hospitals, and other places.
For JoyNews, Nanaya Ojima, Greater Accra Region.
We take a quick break. We'll be back with more.
The race to Jubilee House is on. Ghana is at a crossroads.
It's time again for the people to choose, and the world is watching.
In a nation where every vote counts, every voice matters, there's one name you can trust for your election coverage.
JoyNews, your election headquarters.
A team of seasoned journalists will bring you up-to-the-minute updates and biased analysis and the stories behind the headlines.
Your election headquarters brings you Joy News 2024 election on the Joy FM Super Morning Show, the AM show on the Joy News channel, and all our social media platforms.
The election headquarters.
You're welcome back. Voters at Pig Farm in Accra have expressed mixed reaction about the performance of the Akufo-Addo administration. While others pledged to help break the eight, others say they are tired on both the NDC and MPP. So which party will be their alternative choice? This is Voters' Voice.
Oh, say na mechire no. Nti senia nkola o ye nkola mo aba no nyina mo bre. Sika no kroko ye adwuma ye tua okakra na nhu so hwe. What you say? Nti ye no sisi na man no se na ekọ no ye bre pa. You say ka say vote am me vote. Vote, who person obi vote ma wa na wa tua ka na ya vote ama wo. Eno anu no. Sika no enwa edin e ba bia. Me ya dey na me ko gina ewia so e vote ma obi na obi e tena ya komo so ye we ya chele na me da eyi tabodan mu wo be ma obi a vote ama wa na wa tua na wa vote ama. That's all.
Me a few me aba no metu but the any blisu na metu aba no because nyama nko ye ma me president no was no nya hwi wa magana ye din ye break too much nti afi we de aba no metu pa be me ntuma na Akufo-Addo me to ma joma ama na ba konya no so abesiesie Ghana yie ama ye because wa ma oman no wa se oman no kura enu tira me pese me nto aba no this year de se nyame ma me awon kwa da aba no metu
ye na eba be break 8 no ye vote ama Baumia break the 8 ye na be break 8 no forward ever backwards never. Yes ye aba na wo so no ye nko yechi en san kofa biom ye ko enim. And this time, your lances cry expire. By MPP time, no, your lances renew. You say different lances. You say your lances D. Yes, your time, no. You interested by a chief. Forward ever, backwards never. You call him. You break it, no. Upa umpo, you break it. We are the boys for Baumia. Upa umpo, unti aubeti. Yeah, no.
Yete me to mama be ba akonya no suru mi hu di oyeye na nana so ba akonya no susu me hu difference. Wama ye youth nu ye bre ye nya adwuma ye. Na me ye adwuma wo airport oba ye obeyi nimpa bebre di ma betena fie. Mitumi hwe me ma. Nti enu ti na me to mama wo so no na niam aye fine. Na be bia me ye adwuma so no mi pay bibia ko ye ma me. Benana ba ye no nipa ebre e wo man we mu. Enu ti na mpese me san to abama jo mama ne bra power. No be your man ye my
Mama time. Any what we name the late president. At Tamus time, my lances were expired. But MPP time, I have new lances. I have my own car. So that's the dream I have that I'll vote for MPP. I won't go back.
I feel there are many more than and this senior MPP no. I'm not disappointed here for 2 long years. Until Miss Ramon, I feel the new force cheddar for rare. Women vote too much cheddar. No about betting boy youth no. Yes, and this new NPP there. Be bien well koso. Your mama dukadaya. Ekufuadu dukadaya cheddar. Cheddar. Women vote too much cheddar. No meme youth for no ejuma. Ni entumi nyebi. Na ya bread do amayimu. Ukute 5 cedi crown twin tokoko. Adentia. Omai mo san ka kuta 2 cedi crown twin tokoko nya blodo nya ko se nyina ka ho. Ba yentumi nkoso sa 5 cedi crown twin to blodo ko se nyina nka koko ho. Ntimi mo vote ma cheda. No me boa yen. Na yentumi nkoso.
Media sensia de minni didie wo bia mu. MPP NDC ya bre wo mo. Mummy Aviation young boy.
Mummy vote ma cheda. New force for real to the whole world.
Ememunu young boys, ye doso, ye nu ebu oman no, enye nkokura, eti umenye adwin ye, ni penyanse ni forman ni hyensa because nkokura no omu di ewu, onye ni fie ya because wo obebunu no onimu.
Cheda ba obeba yen youth no, obe provide adwuma me nyina ye nya bia ye. Every say nim no.
Enya magrofia bedi. Tafla chisi gozi and obe NDC kule MPP a obe MPP nyowu NDC gakefifia magbula NDC likra mi kpo overhead le circle amedisa nya be overhead a NDC ewe tanya nya groga ma na egboto katan lo amoyo pe nko sen fifi la di NDC is better more than MPP. I am begging each other to vote this year to NDC. Thank you.
Right, let's take you back to our earlier story where a founding member of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, has been sharing his opinion on the selection of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as the MPP's flag bearer and speak to the Director of Communications of the MPP, Richard Ahiagba. Richard, I believe you've heard some of the claims that Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo has been making. First of all, why did the party force Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia on the electorate as it's been claimed?
Hello?
Hello, Richard. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes. I want to find out from you. Right. I believe you listened to the interview where Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, a founding member of your party, has been making some allegations concerning the candidature of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. One of them, he says that, he was forced on the party. And I want to find out from you, why was Dr. Bawumia forced on the party as is being claimed by Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo?
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, right. I haven't listened to his full interview, so I'm going on your description that he stated his opinion on a certain matter involving flag bearer. But that will be his opinion. You are very much aware of our electoral processes, and so therefore nobody can push or force any candidate or anybody. You were here when the electoral process commenced. We went through a special delegate election. Dr. Bawumia won with other 4 candidates. 1 dropped out. Then we went to the final election, which he won with some 63%. And so any description contrary to this cannot be a reflection of the fact. So it will just be a matter of our respected founding member, Dr. Nyaho Tabaklo, whose contribution and service to the party I appreciate, but then on this matter, I think that he has stated his opinion, but not the fact.
Dr. Nyaho Tabaklo also mentioned that he's not widely supported in the party, and that had it not been for the financial backing of President Akufo-Addo, he would have lost. He's also mentioned that, you know, his hands are tied. It appears that he's been dictated to. For example, he has no option than to select a running mate from the Ashanti region, even if it is against his will. How do you answer to these?
Well, I mean, I think you're heavily trying to make an issue out of these things, because all you're speaking about the matter of constitutional provisions of our party. Our party is clear. Our party's rules are clear. If you go to Article 13 of our Constitution,
right.
It talks about voting in parliamentary primaries, so that when delegates are voting in the parliamentary primaries to select one to be a flag bearer of our party, there's a threshold that the winner must attain, which is more than 50% of the vote. So 50 plus 1, anything above 50%. So anybody who gets 50 plus 1 wins. And you can attest to the fact that at the close of polls, Dr. Bawumia got exceedingly more than the minimum threshold the Constitution allows. Now, if somebody gets 63% of a vote cast and the person is declared a winner, and somebody tells you that it is financial influence or that influence, you look at the number, not what the person is saying. What does the number tell you? Somebody winning by 63% of the vote, is that person legitimate or not? And then a democracy is not a totalitarian situation that must be an absolute support of every single person who goes to vote. It's a simple majority situation. That is how we have a president. He didn't have 100% of the country voting for him, but he is the president of the republic. Is that not the case? And so you can just look at this expression by Dr. Nyaho Tabaklo as an invitation to express his view. He has taken the invitation, he has expressed his view. But when you're dealing with facts, you're dealing with the evidence of the matter that you are talking about, then you can clearly discount that what he's saying may be his opinion, but not factual. And I think we should look at it that way.
Well, Dr. Nyaho Tabaklo has also said that there are major cracks within your party. And going into the 2024 polls that happens in December, how does Dr. Bawumia unite the party to try and win power again?
Well, certainly, I don't think that this is news, really. Every human institution comes with differences, difference of opinion, perspective. You weave all of those together to form a force and a team that drives to win an election. Even you, in your own very family, there are fractures, there are issues. By the end of the day, you come together around common purpose and drive a certain agenda in the interest of the family to succeed in what pursuit you're engaged in. Look at the National Democratic Congress. They have problems. They have serious disuniting issues in the party, but somehow they manage to be able to unite and go along with those issues. So it's not a question of having a fracture in the party or cracks in the party. It's a question of the party members who are united by a certain constitution that as a party we want to win power and govern this country the best way we know how. That is the rallying call. And I think that Dr. Bawumia is leading us and the party is united behind him. And I guarantee you that we are united more than ever, and we are focused on winning this election, and by God we'll win the election in 2024.
Right.
All the issues that you see, you will never come to a point where there is an absolute situation.
Right. Richard Ahiagba is the Director of Communications of the governing New Patriotic Party. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. And that's how we end Election Brief this afternoon. My name is Kenneth Jesse. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Succeeding in business requires certain fundamentals and know-hows at every turn. In light of this, Joy Business is going a notch higher to bring you closer to top business leaders all over the world, right on your social media platforms with Joy Business Social. It's an insightful and interactive live session on your mobile devices. Joy Business Social comes your way this and every Thursday at 6 p.m. exclusively live on the Joy Business and Joy 99.7 FM Facebook pages. Follow our live updates and engage with us on Twitter via the hashtag Joy Business Social. You can also engage with us on LinkedIn at Joy Business Ghana. All your questions relating to business and the guest of the day will be tackled live and direct. Joy Business, empowering, prospering together.
Live from Atlanta, Georgia, this is the headquarters of Delta International, and today we're here. A couple of months or years ago, we had cases of people complaining about unreliability, amongst others, the safety and also the issues about aircraft that comes to Accra. Today we get the rare opportunity to visit the headquarters of Delta Airlines right here in Atlanta, in the USA. I'm here together with some colleagues from to at least get to understand the operations of Delta International. And we've been here for about 2 days now, and I can tell you that the experience has been very exciting, but I'll get you to understand what happens here as well. I'll take you into a number of spaces that ideally we will not get to visit, and I'll give you that opportunity as well to get to understand the operations of Delta. And then from now, we'll get to understand why they say keep climbing, and then safety, they say, is always prioritized. Delta Airlines we'll get some briefing shortly, and I'll update you on everything you get to see there. So this is a crew. We're right here today, getting ready for our first meeting for the day. And I said, our first encounter was with the Managing Director, International Strategy and Planning of Delta Airlines, Don Cox, and he reviewed that in 2023 alone, Delta Airlines flew over 130,000 passengers from Ghana to the United States. Since it started operating the Accra-JFK route, it has so far carried about 1.8 million passengers to the USA. Delta says it aims at a net zero carbon emission by the year 2050. He adds that Delta Airlines is the largest airline in terms of the demand of customers between Ghana and the US. For the Managing Director of International and Specialty Sales, Rob Lebel, stable democracy and favorable laws and policies in Ghana are a major boost for the operation of Delta Airlines in the aviation industry in the country. Richard Cox, the Senior Vice President, Reservations and Customer Care, took time out to also interact with the team and says regardless of the Class 1 flies in on Delta, the customer care experience is the same. Maurizio Paris, Vice President, Brand Experience, also reiterated the fact that each customer of Delta is guaranteed the same brand experience. Rasan Johnson is a Managing Director, International Corporation Communications, and he debunks assertions that the aircraft that comes to Ghana are not fit for purpose. He tells me that Ghana has not been assigned a specific aircraft.
So we have a wide-ranging fleet of airplanes that travel all throughout our system. There is no airplane that we fly to Ghana that we don't fly to Tahiti, within the United States, to South America, to Europe, and to everywhere else. The 767-300 airplane that we fly to Ghana carries some of our highest paying customers on routes between New York and Los Angeles, for example. It carries our vacationers going from Los Angeles to Tahiti. It carries business travelers going from Atlanta to Bogota. So the aircraft that we fly to and from Ghana is the right size aircraft for us to be financially successful in Ghana. What we want to do is to have a strong business that allows us to give the right amount of service to the community so that we can fly that route every day, so that we can fly that route and be successful. The alternative is a larger airplane for fewer flights a day, or for fewer flights per week, or fewer weeks per month, or fewer months per year. We want to provide the level of convenience and options and service, and I'm happy to say we've had no cancellations between Accra and the United States since September. Now, we've had 2 long delays, that's too many, but we will always do what is safe, and our dispatch reliability, the rate at which those airplanes are scheduled to go is higher than it is in many of our international partners.
To those who have never flown Delta or had that Delta experience, listening to you now, what would you say to them? Why should it be Delta?
I personally have worked for several airlines in my career. I step on a Delta airplane and the flight attendants are warm, the service is good, the food is amazing. I think if people give us a try, they will like us.
Now let's take a guided tour of the Delta Flight Museum led by Tiffany Meng, Director Operations, Delta Flight Museum. That's a Delta Museum. And you can see the old planes right there. This is how it looks like. And you can see the team. We're going inside now. Now, have you wondered what a typical servicing of an airplane looks like? Well, this is the tech ops of Delta. Now, after getting first-hand understanding of the operations at Delta Airline, it is time to test my flying capabilities and live the dream. Join me in Let's Fly the Delta Airbus A320. But first, how to fly A320 101.
Air traffic control tells the pilot Delta Flight 10, turn left, heading 240. The pilot's going to turn the airplane left until 24 comes and it lines up right here at the yellow mark. Conversely, they say turn right, heading 320, and turn the airplane right until the 32 comes and gets right there, okay? This airplane has 2 engines, okay? This is basically the gas pedal of the airplane, or what they call the throttles, okay? This controls engine number 1, this controls engine number 2. We fly them simultaneously when operations are normal, okay? Both things are functional. The landing gear, when we take off, I'll tell you to pull the landing gear up, you pull this out and up, the wheels come up in the airplane. When you're landing, I'll tell you to pull it out and down, the wheels come down. Prepare for landing, all right? Flaps. The flaps are incredibly important for takeoff and landing because what happens is, how an airplane flies is that they have to have so much air passing over the wing.
Now, let's fly Delta.
Push forward just a little bit. Push forward just a little. Push forward, not too much, not too much. All right, that's enough, that's enough. Pull back some, pull back, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Pull, yeah, pull back, just a little bit. All right, not too much, not too much. Go forward, push forward, push forward, push forward, push forward. Not too much, not too much. Push forward, push forward, push. Pull back, pull back. Pull back. Dual input. Pull back. Pull back. Pull. 20. Pull back. Pull back. Pull back. Pull back. Hold. Look at that. Look at that. Push forward. Look nice and easy. Nice and easy. Nice. That was good. Did I land? Actually, you did. I just took over the brakes. So. You took over for this guy's missed approach and you saved the day.
Yeah. My co-pilot.
So first of all, who will be my first 3 guests?
Well, I will join the first group.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So as much as you can.
So we
we've been able to interact with from the Vice President of Reservations all the way to gender inclusion amongst others. I'll get you to understand everything that happens when it comes to Delta, from when you have to buy your ticket all the way to your flight experience, and then when you land amongst others, right here on the Joy News channel. From Delta in Atlanta, Georgia, I am Emefa Apau, reporting for Joy News.
Hi there, my name is Yaira Portia Klu, founder of Real Impact Generation, a non-profit organization that focuses on facilitating national development through volunteerism. We provide teaching materials to schools that have experience shortage, aiming to enhance teaching and learning experiences in the schools. My motivation started during my time at the university when I realized that people were not interested in active national building. Unlike in the past where we heard of the VOLU, where young people were engaged in volunteering, it wasn't like that in my time. So during my time in the university, I decided to create this group to actually revive the spirit of volunteerism and also encourage the youth involvement in national building. I have been engaged in this work for the past 5 years. In fact, I'm proud of all the volunteers. We started with 20 volunteers, and today I am proud to say that Real Impact Generation has 1,500 volunteers nationwide, from the University of Ghana, KNUST, Ho Technical University, Kufuridia Technical University, and Wilbur. It has actually been one of the things that have actually motivated me, because the volunteers have visited Tamale, they visited Kintampo, they visited Ho, Seshiri also, and they are all eager to actually reach out to other people. Since the establishment of the Real Impact Generation, we have been working to facilitate the equal access of quality education in the rural areas by deploying our volunteers, most of whom are university students and graduates, to assist the tutors in the schools and also help teach the people. I believe the Joy Impact Maker Award is a platform for change makers to share their stories, provide hope to the general public that there are individuals actively working to improve our country, Ghana. And this award scheme will grant our organization the visibility to attract young people in the country, especially nationwide, and then also put our name out there whereby individuals or graduates, and including the students, can understand why volunteerism in our community or our part of Ghana is going to help improve national building. We require more helping hands to bring about the desire for positive change in our country. Thank you.
2008, the Multimedia group launched an Educare fund, to help brilliant but needy students as part of our CSR activities, to see them through school. We thought that we should be able to extend this support beyond the Educare fund.
On the introduction of the free SHS, the question then was whether there will still be that value in providing for students at the SHS level, especially given that SHS was going to be free. So if that money isn't going into supporting individual students, then there should be another way of still investing to benefit such students.
The management and board of the Educare creates more access to educational content for students wherever they live.
So we looked around and we spoke to Wolo. And then we spoke to our partners at SES, a satellite platform that MultiTV is on. And they decided that, look, it's a good cause, we'll give you satellite bandwidth. We spoke to KNet, who then provided the ground services to put us on the satellite. And so this match, then the three partners plus Multimedia then began to put the plan together. And then in December 2019, we launched.
KNet started as a telecommunication service provider, but is gradually stepping up its operations and services to support this nation with its capacity. There was already a plan by KNet to provide support for open university kind of a learning system or platform, because other nations do it. You realize that until recently, when the universities have been very innovative and have instituted certain programs, weekend programs, vacation programs and things that are providing opportunities for people who cannot find physical space in the institutions to learn. And so when Multimedia came up with the same dream, it was like a coincidence of two minds. So we supported the cause because we knew that this nation will not have enough space physically to provide the learning opportunities required by our people.
SES is a global leader in content connectivity solutions provision. We have over 70 satellites worldwide providing video services and network services to billions of users, consumers in the world. Multimedia Group has been a partner of SES for many years. When the SHS double track system started, MultiTV and its partners approached us and they wanted to do something about getting these students who are at home whilst others are in school something to do. So we thought, why not use our platform, the SES and MultiTV platform, to provide an education channel for these kids who are home to at least be able to catch up, and be able to do something. Right now, this MultiTV platform reaches more than, let's say, 65% of homes in Ghana. So if you take every 3 homes, 2 homes are watching MultiTV. So we knew that this platform will enable us to reach a lot of these kids at home.
Initially, when the project started, it was set up for senior high school students. But later, COVID struck, and the project needed to expand to include the junior high school students also. But after 2 years of operation, we expanded and we have included students at the the primary level. So on a normal day, you have lessons for basic school, also the primary school level, junior high school level, and the senior high school level.
I call madam for us to charge my phone. I call no TV, no enjoy learning. And I say, the mammy should not be a bit more boy, baby. Me share some by a boy, mammy to miss you. A chance be a me, no school, your school. No. It me try dinner and down for a year didn't to me, and Sharon taking a sabbath me call her. It me share the Mass no, or try me topic bit is a pie chart. Me sang who English or try me adverb ne pronouns ne adjectives. sɛ mekɔ a me spend 2 hours. Me san ba nso a me san spend 2 hours. Nti best me kɔ na me ba nyinaa me spend 4 hours. Nti me timi be duru kra na e di matem ɛwɔ ho.
I've gained a lot. Even yesterday, I was listening to one Jacqueline. He was teaching English language, and the way he was expressing himself about literature, English literature, I heard a lot about it. I understood certain things that for a long time I've learned and I've I've forgotten. Globally, I would say is one of the best way in education, because you can stay somewhere very far, then you have access in learning without the help of anybody. You can use Joy Learning alone to write your exams and pass.
When it comes to going to extra classes, with Joy Learning, I have not anything to worry again, because Joy Learning has really helped me. It is free. You don't have to pay for it.
I got to know more about the Joy Learning essay competition, and now I have won gifts like plaque, books, t-shirts, and many more. So I would like to encourage everybody to also participate in the Joy Learning essay competition, so that he or she can also win some of the gifts like the plaque, books, and the t-shirt too.
I wasn't good at maths, but Joy Learning helped me to do well at maths. When I go to school, it helped me to solve problems that my teacher will give me.
Somehow, especially in northern region here, there is poverty. We Joy Learning doing the program free. We are able to go as far as we can, and we really urge the sponsors of the program to continue doing it free.
I encountered Joy Learning about a year ago. We were just watching TV, and then she just changed the channel to that station, and then I was like, wow, I never knew there was something like this. So started watching Joy Learning, and then it has really improved her writing skills and her reading skills as well. I think they should do a lot of essay writing, because it really helps the kids a lot.
Encourage all parents to just let their children be watching Joy Channel, the e-learning. It improves their studies and also save costs of money. Because if you have to use money and pay your school fees, but when you are watching that one, you don't pay anything. You only get much more easier, you get learning easier, and everything goes smoothly.
We want to continue doing this, but who knows? So we are going to support this initiative for as long as it takes. On top of that, we are also looking at a way of enhancing the service, maybe providing some content on demand. Right? So today, the service is what we call linear broadcasting. So the kids are watching what we broadcast, but it would be good for them to be able to perhaps at some point download or receive content specific to what they're learning at different times on any device anywhere, so they're not just stuck to a TV all the time. So that's something I would like to do in the future to help these kids.
Hello beautiful people, welcome once again to Home Tips with Mira. The program is all about home tips, DIYs and home remedies. So today we are looking at a home remedy and a DIY, and we are going to look at the usage of a certain kind of herb. In fact, it is a spice that we use in our daily cooking, and It is also the name of my friend. I am talking about Rosemary. I believe most of us know Rosemary. Did you know that Rosemary can promote your hair growth and boost the texture of it and make it look so nice and appealing? Yes, today we are going to look at how to use rosemary to boost our hair. But before we do that, we'll also look at the benefits of using rosemary. Rosemary as a spice can be used in its fresh form or its dried form, depending on what you want. So in dishes where you want the aroma to be outstanding and you want to really enjoy the taste of the rosemary, you don't want it to be lost, you can use the fresh one. So you just, dice it and use it to flavor your food. And if you are doing a longer cooking, let's say you are doing your stew, it is advisable that you use the dried rosemary so that you can also enjoy the taste. For longer cooking, you use the dried rosemary. For shorter cooking, you use the fresh rosemary. And rosemary as a spice can also be joined together with other spices to, you blend everything together and then you keep it on your shelf as your spice. Use it to season your meat, use it to season your fish, and any other form of usage that you have for it. Rosemary, the dried form or the fresh form, can also be used as a tea. So you steep it in hot water, and I believe you have seen the episode of herbal tea. You steep it in hot water, you wait for about 10 minutes, and then you remove the rosemary from it, and then you take your tea, which can be sweetened with honey. Please avoid the intake of white sugar. And there's also rosemary essential oil. The oil can also be used in different ways. In fact, it can be used as an aromatherapy, where you boil water, you put it in a hot pan, and then you put about 3 or 4 drops of rosemary into the pan containing the hot water. Use a towel to cover your head, and then you inhale. It helps to relieve your stress, and then it's a pain reliever. So if you have a lot of things on your mind, maybe you've gone to work, you have come home, you are stressed out and all that, just do some aromatherapy with rosemary essential oil and then go to bed, and you see the wonders that rosemary can do for you. We are looking at using rosemary for your hair growth. And how can you do it? What you have to do is just get a handful of rosemary. You can use the fresh one or the dried one and boil it in water. And whilst boiling, you have to add cloves to it. Cloves also does wonders for the hair. I'm going to boil the rosemary this quantity, and I also have the cloves this quantity, but I'm going to divide these cloves into 4 parts, and then I'll add to the rosemary and then add water and boil on fire. And now I will add water. We don't want to add too much water, just enough. Cover it and boil it between 5 to 10 minutes. And anytime you are boiling any kind of herbal medicine, it is advisable that after it has been on fire for the stipulated period, when you bring it down, keep the lid on till it cools down completely. Then you sieve it into a nice bowl, and then you add coconut oil to it, because the coconut oil will act as a diffuser oil. When you apply it on your hair, it's going to help so that you don't react too much to the rosemary or the cloves. That is if you are sensitive or you are allergic to it. I'm going to transfer it into a bigger container. Within like a week, you should have finished using it. So you keep this one in your fridge, and anytime you want to put some in your hair, you transfer it into this small container. Mix together in a spray can, just spray it in your hair and massage it into the scalp of your head, and then do it 2 to 3 times within a week. In fact, if you are not comfortable, you can do it and then an hour you do your shampooing, or you can just spray your hair and leave it in. that is what I use for my hair, and it's amazing how my hair has grown. The mixture of rosemary, cloves and coconut oil in fact is full of antioxidants, and it is also anti-inflammatory. So when you use it and you massage it deep into your scalp, it helps to get rid of dandruff. So if you have a problem with dandruff, this is what you can use. And if you also have a problem with alopecia, your hair is not growing, is falling off, or you have a child that you have braided the hair and the frontal is removed, you can also apply this mixture on the child's hair every 2 to 3 days. And make sure that whilst doing it, you see how the person is reacting. In fact, you can do a test, on your hand to see how your body reacts to this whole mixture before you apply it on your hair. And just be careful that you don't use too much rosemary or too much cloves. Let's say if you use a handful of rosemary, you can use a quarter of cloves to it. Rosemary has a lot of benefits for the human body. It supports your immunity, it supports your digestive system, and it helps to relieve bloating and gas and indigestion. So if you have, you know that you have indigestion and it's causing some rumblings in your tummy, just get a teaspoonful of rosemary and steep it.
It's Thursday, the 14th of March 2024. Hello and welcome to the Pulse. And coming up, many internet users in Ghana and other parts of the world struggling to access telecom and data services after what telecom operators say is a technical issue with undersea fiber optic safe sanitation for all. And this show is live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125 and around the world on myjoyonline.com. We're live on Facebook and all our socials. My name is Samuel Kojo Brace, and it's always a pleasure to welcome you to the show. Do stay for the details. Now, if you've experienced difficulties